G'day everyone and welcome back to another Audiovisual Distributors Tech Insight. My name is Justin. Today we're going to touch base on a product in our stable called Cleerline. Now Cleerline are a fibre optic cable manufacturer. They produce a fibre optic cable which is quite phenomenal because they've redefined that manufacturing process on how the fibre is made to give us superior strength and integrity in relation to pull tensile and bending indexes. Now, just to show you, let's have a look at this diagram here really quickly. Now, what you will see on this left-hand side is our Cleerline fibre optics, which has that blue coating on it. On the right-hand side, you're going to actually see the standard fibre optic cable that's out there in the market space, and as we know, many people make them. But Cleerline have actually made theirs quite different. Now, when we look at the traditional fibre, we've got, let's say, the fibre core, which is 9 or 50 microns in relation to that fibre core, depending on your mode. Then there's 125 micron glass cladding, and then they basically put a hard acrylate over that to protect it, because glass is fragile, it breaks really easy, and to be frank, it's very dangerous to deal with. And then there's obviously a buffer jacket on top of that, which basically is there to protect it even more. Now, Cleerline have basically redefined that process in manufacturing. So yes, we still have glass core, we still have the 59 micron core, whatever it is that you desire on your mode selection. Then we have the glass cladding, but then we have a proprietary polymer coating over the top. Now, what that means is that it's given us increased strength and integrity, but including that polymer coating, we're still at the 125 micron industry standard size for fibre optic cable. So that means we can use any connector we like or any desired, products to bolt to that particular cable. But the way it's actually done is that the glass cladding on Cleerline has been reduced by 10 microns, and then the actual proprietary polymer takes over that and builds it back up to the size of the 125. So that gives us a bending index of 3 millimeters and under. It also gives us a 100 kilogram tensile strain, which is phenomenal. So it's far stronger than your category cable. So on your rough-ins and installations, and in the case of the tactical we're going to talk about now, it's very hard to break it. And the best part about Cleerline, though, you can repair it yourself. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to do this, and I'm going to show you how easy that is in this video on doing a termination for you. So first and foremost, let's have a look at a couple of the varieties. Now, I've got two here in front of me. Now, this particular one that we're seeing here is our 4-core tactical. So it has a polyurethane jacket on board, and then this is what we call a breakout cable. So each individual fiber has its own 2 millimeter jacket on there. It's got aramid yarns internally, so obviously that's to help with water blocking agents and everything else, and then the fiber core internally. So this is a 4-core breakout. We also do a 2-core breakout in this tactical breakout version of our Cleerline. Now, we also do have micro distribution versions. That's meaning that the fibers internally aren't broken out like this. So this here is a 2-core version. You still find that we have the PU jacket, we have an internal jacket sleeve, you have your aramid yarns, and in this case this is a 2-core micro distribution. So there's 2 cores here. We do a 2 and a 12-core version in this as well, depending on what you're needing for your application. Now, the 2-core varieties of both of these work very, very well with our tactical connector. Now, we'll touch base on this in another video. I've got a video coming out which basically shows you the whole connector and how to terminate it as well. It's not a difficult thing to do, because I'll show you how easy to terminate the glass first and foremost, and then that gets put into the housing. So it's really quite neat. But overall, these particular products themselves, in multi-mode or single mode, depending on what you need, and as you'll know, they'll be listed on the fiber. What we're looking at here is a multi-mode version here. This one here is a single mode version. Now, what we might do is a quick termination. So how about we get started on that, and I'll show you how easy it is to terminate a core in the tactical version fiber here. All right, everyone, how about we get stuck into doing this termination now? Now, we're going to be terminating one of the strands here out of our 4-core breakout tactical. Now, it's a multi-mode fiber, so we need a multi-mode connector. This is an SC connector from Cleerline, which is a field terminal connector. These are a wonderful little connector, very quick and easy to use. You'll notice nice and close, there's that amber indication window there, which is very important because we just need to make sure that's slid all the way back to the collar side, basically because when we insert this to some of our tools, we need to light that up so we can see the connector is home. So how we do that, we utilize a VFL, which comes in a Cleerline F-Kit 02, which is our standard termination kit. It looks similar to this. This is the one out of the Pro Series kit, but essentially this here will light up that connector for us, because obviously it's a laser and it lights that filament up for us so we can see what's going on. We need a cleaver, industry tooling. We need a pair of Kevlar shears, and we also need our fiber optic strippers. So what we're going to do is start this process. So first and foremost, we grab the fiber we choose to terminate. We're going to grab the collar off our connector. We'll insert that over the jacket so we don't do a rookie mistake and forget that. I don't know, probably a lot of you have done XLRs and other things in the past. When you forget, it's not fun, is it? So then what we're going to also do is grab our build tube. Now remember, this here needs to be put on here because this is a 2mm fiber, right? 2mm jacket. Normally, in most cases, in our standard fibers, it's 3mm. So this is a build tube to enable our connector to hold on and grab the jacket quite strong. So we'll pop that on there as well. Then we get our Kevlar shears. We'll basically use the 250 micron, which is the center mark on these Kevlar shears. And we're going to take a good 70 mils off of there. We'll just do a bit of a click, and then we'll pull that jacket off. We'll get that out of the way. And in here, by just flicking that aramid yarn, we'll see now we have our fiber optic core here. Now this is 250 micron in size because we have in Cleerline a soft pill indication layer on there. Now what that does, for us to take that off, is we forget about our strippers now, we put them aside. So we're eliminating a few things, and that's the harsh things too when dealing with traditional fiber, because you have to scrape off a hard acrylate and bring out that naked glass. In this case, this is soft pill. We actually use our fingers. Obviously don't do this with standard fiber. So what we're going to do is just strip that back like so, until it's nice and smooth. We can fill that there, super smooth. There's that green layer. Comes off very, very easily. If you can have a closer look at that, if you can see it. Obviously it's fine, it's pretty hard to see on camera. But essentially now that is ready for us to terminate. Now it's perfectly safe for me to touch this because we still have that proprietary polymer on there. It won't penetrate soft tissues, it's very flexible, and that's a 100 kilogram tensile strain right there as well, with a bending index of 3mm. So if we wanted to tighten a knot, we can simply do that. At 2.2 it will break, but it's very, very strong. So we need to now cleave this piece of glass to suit this field terminal connector from Cleerline. In this case, every connector, when you purchase them from us in Cleerline, they basically have a certain measurement you need to cleave the glass at. In this case, this one requires us to cleave it at 28mm. So we're going to grab our fiber optic cleaver. Sorry, it's going to be a little bit hard to see because I've kind of faced it towards me. You'll notice there's some measurements on the cleaver. We need to put that jacket at the 28mm mark and then score that glass, which essentially cuts it for us. And we're almost there. So now that has been scored. We don't want to touch the end of that because now that is actually naked glass, so we don't want to put any oil filaments or anything on there. So then what we do is we grab our Cleerline connector, right, so we're going to take off the dust jacket on the front and insert that into our VFL, and we'll turn this on. Now from this point we now insert this into this connector. You can see that window is illuminated in red. There we go. So what we need to do now, hopefully you can see this on camera, we will insert that in, and when the light virtually distinguishes on that cable, you can see that there. If I come out and I come back in, the light's virtually distinguished. We want to hold a little bit of a loop, and then you're forcing the fiber into the end of that connector. Then we lock the locking tag forward, which is that indication window we spoke about briefly earlier. Then we'll take that off the VFL. We'll stick our dust cap back on. We'll pull the aramid yarns out the side of that connector, getting ready to slide up that build tube. So now we grab our build tube. We're going to let that hang there, it doesn't really matter because it's nice and strong, our glass, so there's no stress there. What we're going to do now is put that build tube into that little canal there where we need it to hold. We then close down that jacket and we pull the aramid yarn out the side of the connector. Then we grab our collar, we bring that up, we slide that over, we do good 2 to 3 turns on there, leaving a bit of a gap as you can see, because now what we'll do is we will cut the aramid yarn. But the reason why we do a few turns there is so that the aramid yarn ends up being strain relief in the threads of that barrel. So when we tighten that up, our fiber cable has 100% locked in. You can see the build chip at the back to protect it, which is giving us the 3mm. And at the end of the day, guys, we've just terminated a fiber cable. So without me waffling on and having a bit of a chat, you can do this, quite quickly. A novice can do it in about 60 seconds. If you really go, you can get it down to about 30, 35 seconds. So it's a really nice, easy fiber to terminate, extremely robust, and as we know, with our Cleerline Tactical is very, very strong. It's designed to be deployed in and out on a regular basis on spools or put into machine work that moves a lot. It really suits huge amounts of applications. So I guess that's really what we wanted to show you about today is Cleerline Tactical, production industry, machine installations, wherever the things need to be rolled in, rolled out, or moved a lot continuously. Look at the Cleerline tactical versions of fiber, the 2-core and the 4-core in the breakout, and the 2-core and the 12-core in the micro distribution. The termination process is essentially, as I've just showed you here, it's very quick and very easy, and it is the go-to fiber, because like if you do have a break in an installation, or if you're basically on a show and someone accidentally runs over it or does something to it and breaks it or jams it or whichever, you can simply cut it and repair it on the spot. You know, on an average termination time for anyone that's just starting out to around 60 seconds a connector, so it's going to be very quick to terminate, and then your show is back up and running again. So most versatile product out there in relation to fiber optics. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at all, I highly recommend you reach out to our sales team at the details below. They'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have, quote you up in relation to the cable itself, connectors, termination kits, everything you desire to make the job done. And obviously, if you want to know more about anything else in the Cleerline range, because there's a lot of installation versions of the fiber, all terminated the same way, check them all out on our website. The details are here as well. Really thank you guys for taking the time and listening to me on this Tech Insight today, and I hope you've enjoyed the Cleerline product range, and I look forward to seeing you at our next session. Take care.